so that also would help us define who we are. The problem we have is that we don't know who we are. We're not going to lie about it. Who is a Nigerian? What makes you a Nigerian? Can you stand up and say Nigerian is this, a Nigerian is that? You don't know. We don't know. So we need to define who a Nigerian is. That's one. Secondly, what does it mean to us to regulate social media? It means everything that must be posted must be true and must be verifiable. It's as simple as that. Nobody's saying shut down businesses. Nobody's saying don't use all the social media platforms anymore to dance or do whatever it is. But whatever must be posted must be true and verifiable. And when it is not, when it fails to cross that metric, you will be dealt with by the government. It's obvious that most of us cannot regulate ourselves anymore, so we need help from higher authorities. We need help from the laws of the land. Now, when we're talking about raising our children, we also must educate them that whatever you must post must be true and must be verifiable, or else the law will come after you. It has to start from somewhere. So while we are talking to our people and talking to our children and trying to regulate ourselves, we have seen that most people don't care. Most people don't even know who they are. Most people seek validation from social media. They don't have a self-identity. They don't have a self-esteem. It's the likes and the follows that moves them to do whatever they are doing. Government needs to take hold of that and help us in that regard.
Let me take Cass. Good morning, Cass. You're live. Good morning, Cass. Go ahead, please.
And yes. Basically, for your discussion. What I just want to say, I've been trying to get in touch, is about Miriam. I want you to please put Miriam in your TV adverts. I mean, TVC break, when you're on break. I've seen others like Becee, I've seen you, but I've never seen Miriam. Can you?
I didn't get that. I didn't get that. I'm sorry. We didn't hear you very well in the studio, but hopefully our producers heard you. I mean, this is a very, I think this conversation is moving to the issue of identity. Because the truth is that we as a people must understand that this country is all we have. I mean, sometimes I wonder how people are so confident in posting certain things. And when I go to their page, I realize, oh, this doesn't live in Nigeria. Because they feel like, I can just post anything. I can dump anything. They'll be all right. But for those of us who live here, you must understand we have a responsibility, not just to ourselves, to our neighbors. It is totally irresponsible for you to wake up that morning and say, we're going to fake your death. So that people can buy your album. For you to even think that you should be in panty. Somebody said that earlier.
Yes, I did.
Somebody, in itself, it's insanity.
It's criminal.
It's insanity in itself. It's insanity. So it doesn't make any sense. So because to the extreme, because even in Lagos State, I know that it's illegal for you to do attempted suicide.
Yes,
you can
if you go to jail. That thing, they will arrest you.
Yes,
for trying to take your own life.
Exactly. It's a crime in Lagos State. Yeah. So this in itself should be a crime. If you had said that you're dead, maybe we should just help you to make it maybe the dream come true once and for all, so that we can literally mourn in peace.
Psychiatric evaluation.
Because the truth is that it is totally wrong and completely wrong. But it now takes us to the issue of societal decadence. How do we bring ourselves up from this? Because it's not only government. I don't like us to just focus on government. Is the easiest, easiest person to blame.
Yeah.
So you started with how we perceive ourselves. So today, on my way to work, listening to the radio, you know how you read some of the news mentions and then the comments you get from people. Oh, this country is just a banana republic. Oh, this country is just a jungle. Oh, they will say what they have to say, and it's something that maybe has been said or even misunderstood or misinterpreted. But they end everything with, this country is a jungle, it's a banana republic. I feel that we've gotten to a point where Nigerians feel, if you put Nigeria, you have to put banana republic or something negative beside it. Even sometimes, even when the thing is positive, but because the person didn't understand it, they have put Nigeria as a bad thing. As a bad thing. We need to start looking at our country differently. We are not saying that this country does not have its problems or its issues. There are so many. You know that we talk about this every day, but there's so many good things also happening daily amongst us, in our neighborhoods, in communities. We can highlight those. And because those things are happening in our country, they're happening because Nigerians are good people. So when you hear something, try and look at it beyond, face value, beyond, let's slap a negative connotation on Nigeria. Let's see what we have done to contribute to that bad situation and how we can make it better. So that will now also be our identity. The way Americans love America. You would think that when you go to that country, the street is paved with gold. Like, you know, you think it's Hollywood when you go. And then now we now see people lying on the streets. Many people without homes. You know, shelters everywhere. Shelters are filled. Hunger, we see a lot of that in America. When Americans come to talk about their country and their flag, you'll be like, this is the best thing to ever happen to the world. So we need to get to that point where we recognize that this is the only country we have, and we are good people, and so our country is a good country.
Thank you. Well done. We have a lot of clapping moments today. Let me take this call. Ose, you're live.
Hello.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Please, I just have a question to ask.
Yes.
Because people always talk about regulating social media. In Nigeria, does it mean we don't have a law against raising false alarm?
Law against raising false alarm?
Does it mean there is no law in Nigeria against raising false alarm? Because what that guy did is a false alarm. So does it need to regulate social media for such people to get punishment?
We have laws.
There should be.
That's just my question. Does it mean we don't have law against such things in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Apart from regulating social media. Well, in America, they don't regulate social media, but we can't raise such a false alarm.
Okay. It's something that we can always find out.
How is America? Wait, please. Sorry, darling. In America, they don't regulate social media. How is America? Where your children can go to school and somebody will just pop up the gun and shoot everybody. How do we want to be America? We don't. We should know who we are and decide to create who we want to be. We should start with self-love. Recently, I stopped talking to a friend because she finally moved abroad. And anytime she called was one lamentation of Nigeria to another. Nigeria is this. It's not happening here. It's not. I said, but I'm here. And I'm making it here. And I'm doing well here. And there are a lot of other people who are doing well here. No, I don't know. Nigeria is just... at some point, I said, please, can you stop having this conversation? You are draining my energy. We enter the taxis and taxi man is complaining. Everybody's heaping curses on the country. And you want the land to bless you. It can't bless you.
Abi?
What you curse can never bless you. So we need to re-engineer our minds. The issues we think we're having here, they're having it worse in other places.
In the world.
The day I went to New York, I saw all of them. Everybody was begging. Most of the people were sleeping, like she just said, under the small tents. Nothing. People were still complaining in the land of your dreams, your land of plenty, or however they call it. If you don't stay in the system, you will not know. And they too went through a process. America is over 200 years old. We're just 60-something. So we should be patient with ourselves.
Okay, so taking us to that level, because I like where this conversation is going. Aside from what we started with, let's move into the identity problem, the democracy that works for us. You know, we started the conversation with the former president, Obasanjo, who was saying that we need to customize and, what's the word? Try to curate our own democracy that works for us. And many went against it because sometimes you just say we don't want to be Americans, we don't want to be British, we don't want to be Indians, we want to be Nigerians. Yeah. And how do we still function in a country that can still uphold the tenets of democracy. Yet imbibe the value of the culture, heritage, and who we are. What can we do to marry these things where there's a handshake between our culture, our belief system, and democracy and the belief in and the human rights of people? I mean, that's really the foundation of democracy, where everybody has a right, has a voice in governance. So what do you think? I mean, let me come back to you, Nima, because I know we're discussing it sometime this week already on this issue of the customized democracy, as I like to say it.
Of course, we can have what suits us. We can have something that captures our ways, that, captures our system. One of the things that colonialism did was look at the system that works and upset it. Upset it so bad that it will be confusing for you to think it was possible to redo it. So our traditional schools have been demonized. Our traditional ways have been demonized, and we are upholding it because of the kind of education we get. We'll tell ourselves, it cannot work again.
Wait, Nima, you're going too fast. Calm down. This is that what you said is very powerful. Let us take it step by step. Because of the kind of education we get. Because if we got native education or proper education, we would respect.
We know who we are.
We know who we are. But because of the education, we're still going to unpack that. I'm not sure if Mariam agrees. But we have to, because of the Western education we have, it has helped us to water down our essence.
We are the ones who are continuing the watering down. We have been told and we have believed and conditioned that our own is lesser. It's not suitable. It's not workable and cannot be practical. But the Chinese own, that nobody had the chance in the world to go and scatter, is working for them. The form of education they get is speaking in their own language. And an average Nigerian, I deliberately watered down the perfect English I was raised to speak small Nigerianness as much as I can find it. And that's the starting point. Don't say it's not, if it's not this, it can be this. It can be anything you make it to be. Nigerian can decide today and say, okay, this will be our formal one. And all schools will start to accept it. Let's start to grow that. And before you know it, little by little, it will become the standard for all of us. But because every day we look at it, it seems Herculean, Abi, is that the English? To think that we can have a local language and write in it. So we all speak English, so let's just continue to speak English. Nobody wants to accept the terrorism that colonialism brought. 500 years of slavery, of traveling our people, destroying whatever history we had. And so we'll just, let's just continue to speak.
Let me take a call. John has been holding.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.